Well, Kotak Mahindra Bank, it has been on our radar for some time now. But what we saw yesterday was that it was as good as its word. It started cracking on acquiring stressed assets. Remember earlier yesterday, the bank announced its plans to raise around 5,300 crore rupees in fresh capital. And just a few hours later, its asset reconstruction arm, Phoenix ARC, bought loans worth 1,800 to 2,000 crore rupees from South Indian Bank. My colleague Ritu Singh caught up with the management on the stressed asset acquisition plans and other issues. Listen.
The basic guidelines are changing from 1st April. Yeah. So that 50-50 will mean a very, very different environment. And I think a lot of opportunity. You see, what happens is once you see an economy starting to trot faster, yeah, we've seen this in the past. A lot of banks are willing to sell a lot more of their stressed assets because they want to move ahead and concentrate on the rest of the core business really. So I think that's the big trigger, for us really, and that itself can be a big opportunity rather than what you mentioned about just the sheer acquisition piece really.
Does M&M Finance, something like that, make a good strategic fit? I'm also asking because you've had a long-standing relationship with the Mahindra Group. You started out with them. Would it, keeping aside the fact whether you're acquiring it right away or not, does it make a good strategic fit for Kotak Mahindra Bank?
Well, again, that's something for the board to evaluate, but come back again to, what I mentioned about the requirement. The strategic requirement now is to widen the customer base. The customer base can get widened very significantly through digitization. Does having a customer base out of asset meet that requirement or no? Yes, partly it does. But, that does not necessarily drive an acquisition alone, really. Yeah, there are so many other considerations which drive an acquisition, really.
You also very clearly mentioned that you're looking to participate in a bad bank. Let me first start by asking you, do you even see the possibility of a bad bank being set up? Because so far in all our conversations with the government and the ministers, they want the current schemes to first work before they come up with a bigger idea like a bad bank.
Yes, the current schemes should work, yeah. The issues with some of the current scheme really are, I think, what is a fair price of exchange? That's the starting point of the problem, really. And once it becomes 50-50, mind you, it becomes even more important to arrive at this fair price, really. In a fair price, someone's got to take the knock. Will the selling bank take the knock? Will fresh equity provision by government or whoever stakeholders are be willing to take the knock? Will the promoter take the knock? It becomes very difficult. So someone has to start with that process. Now, when you look at a bad bank type of a proposition, the issue really is someone's going to provide that equity. So what one is really saying is a set of people will come together and provide that equity. Now, whether it's going to be the government, it's going to be the private sector, it's going to be sovereign funds, or a combination of all of this, existing banks, all of these possibilities are there. And there have been a lot of talks on all of these fronts.
CDPQ holds about 1.5% stake now in your company. It holds about 20% in Edelweiss. They've also struck a deal to look at distressed assets together. Do you think you, you're looking to partner in a bad bank and participate in a bigger way in stressed assets resolution? Could you possibly look at a tie-up with Edelweiss at this point of time, or perhaps in the near future when you're talking about resolution of assets?
I'll stick to the same thing. Look, if there's anything which is speculative and rumors, we'll not comment until it's specific. So
I merely wanted to understand from your point of view, would it make sense for Kotak Bank?
I mean, anything which makes value, we would look at things.
Does it make value?
So right now we would look at anything which makes value. I would not talk about anything which we may be evaluating. That's not correct.
Okay. Are you evaluating anything at this point in the stressed asset space?
We continue to keep evaluating very many things in every space which we operate in.